Hey everybody, Kairi091 hanging out with you for this week's edition of Kairi's Cards Cast. And we got a lot to cover, but I mean it's obviously not a joyous occasion like the Cards Cast usually is, but you know, it's something we got to talk about anyways. So let's get started. This week we're not even gonna do a
Top 5.
Because I'm not in the mood for a
Top 5.
So instead, me and Brian Lutes are going to cover looking back. We're going to start with looking back at the game that just happened. I was actually at that game. So, Lutes, you want to tell me what went wrong this last week looking back at the Cardinals versus Rams? What went wrong?
Hey guys, Brian Lutes here. Wishing I made a podcast last week so I'd be in better spirits. Okay. So,
by the way, guys, Lutes is joining us from a sat phone. He's on the surface of Mars right now. You guys might have seen the upcoming film about his journey.
Man, that's a big conspiracy just to get a carbon tax enforced. Anyway. Yeah, do I sound like I'm in a dick tunnel right now?
Yeah, a dick tunnel. Yeah, that's exactly. I was thinking some kind of tunnel. I wasn't sure.
A dick tunnel.
Dick tunnel. What went wrong with the Rams game? Talk about it.
So, my take on what went wrong with the Rams game was that the Cardinals have been big play oriented mentally a lot. And in the game like with the 49ers, where we kind of start out by jumping routes and kind of come across fortuitous pick sixes, it worked out hella well for us. Because then you're asking Colin Kaepernick to do shit Colin Kaepernick don't do, and that's like be an explosive playmaker downfield, not with his legs, with the football. And we try to do some of that shit with the Rams, but the problem is that the Rams also do that kind of shit. And dude, that team is like really. Jeff Fisher loves special teams. They have like a special teams coach that's like well known. They emphasize on that shit a lot. So you know, David Johnson coming out of the backfield trying to make that kickoff return worked out great in the Bears game. But you know, you play with like hardcore special teamers like that, they take the big play away. And so like my issue with that was later on in the game, as it was really like we know that the NFC West battles are they're games measured in yards, and Kairi and I at that game knew pretty much right off the bat that we lose that kind of kickoff return like that and give the ball over right away, dude, you're in deep shit like from the get go. Then I wasn't comfortable about that game the whole time. So
but you know what though? Like, but you know what though? I will agree with that. That I was not comfortable at the game. But I did, however, feel like the Cardinals, were in control of the game. I did not feel like, even for a moment, that the Rams were in control. I felt like we were in the driver's seat the entire time. We were just making the wrong turns.
Right, because, like, they weren't doing shit on offense in the first half. And we were going down the field, but we didn't do anything in the red zone. And that was concerning me.
Do you know how many punts? Do you know how many punts we had? Did you see? One. We punted once.
I know, but at the same time, like, I understand where Bruce is coming from. I'm not going to question the play calling. I just, was telling you while we're at the game, I'm like, we got to go for it in the red zone here on fourth. Like, we are going to lose by a field goal, and we're going to realize that it didn't matter that we got the field goal. We're going to need to get a touchdown at some point here. So, I don't know, man. There's a lot to kind of say about it. It bothered me a little bit how Chris Johnson was playing so well. Again, 4.5 yards per carry. Dude's beasting. He's like the number 5 or something rushing leader in the NFL right now. And we're in all these 3rd and 2 situations. And like the first one happens and like, I don't know, Carson got sacked or some shit. It got to the point where like the whole stadium, when it was 3rd and 2 and then you see Carson in the shotgun and you're hoping it's still some kind of like handoff. But then he just jumps back. And, like, the whole stadium was, like, exasperated. Everybody's like, really? Come on. Like, 3rd and 2, we got a running game. Rams are weak against the run. They're weak against the run. Why not a single one of those times did we try to run for the first down? And to that note, where the fuck was Stephon Taylor, dude? In all of these 3rd and 2s and shit? What the hell? Like, what are we trying to do here? Like, they have a great pass rush, so I don't understand. I didn't understand that.
You know what? Okay. What I think is interesting is that um, we made so many bad decisions and so many mistakes and committed just so many stupid plays, like the fumble, not just the Johnson one, but the Fitz one. And in spite of that, we were about to win that game. Like we were on our way to winning it in the fourth quarter there. We were on our way to taking that lead and shutting them down and closing out the game within 2 minutes. Like that was about to happen. So just the fact that we can make that many mistakes and still be about to win the game, it really does say something. I mean, on that fourth down at the end, I guess Catanzaro could have kicked like a 60-yard field goal, but his leg didn't seem okay. He hit every field goal, but he also didn't get, I don't feel like he got a single touchback on a kickoff. And he had a lot of
Yeah,
kickoffs because every time he kicked the field goal, he had to come back and kick the ball off after that. And
we
they
know he's
took
not.
it out every single time. They ran it out of the end zone.
Yeah, we know he's not a distance kicker for field goals. So yeah, we didn't expect him to line up a 60-yard field goal try. I just don't understand the play calling for on 3rd and 2s. I'm like, again, go ahead and throw tomatoes at me for even questioning it. Bruce did mention like why he's like, I kind of regret not running north and south, in the red zone, like on the 1
On
yard line
first and
there.
one, our first and goal at the
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So
Okay,
there's just shit like that, man.
so let's move on. Let's move on. We're moving.
Hey,
We're on to Cincinnati, guys. We're not playing them yet,
no,
but
we're not.
yeah, but it's a figure of speech. We're on to Cincinnati. We don't give a frick about what just happened. You know, we lost. You know what? We lost to the Broncos in Week 4 last year, and we were 3-1, and we went on to eventually be
Yeah,
10-1. So I'm just saying, you know.
wrong. We were 9. We went to 9-1.
Oh, did we? I don't even remember.
And then we started losing.
That
I
was
remember.
okay. So let me tell you what about something. NFC West discussion. Seattle ain't that good. Seattle's
They're
not that
not.
good. Seattle's not that good of a
They're not.
football team. Honestly,
Every. They're not.
the Rams aren't that good either, and the Niners are god awful. I don't feel like I don't feel like there's anybody that matches the Cardinals in talent, and I'm not saying that as a Cardinals homer. I mean it.
No.
Seattle is
They
not
did.
that freaking good. They struggled way the hell too hard against the Lions at home and the Bears at home. Okay, neither
Dude,
of
they
those
got
should be a
bailed out by
challenge
the.
in Seattle.
Okay, well, to the Bears game, they struggled in the first half, and then the wheels kind of came off for the Bears. But that was a Jimmy Clausen Bears team, man. Um, the freaking Lions game, the Seattle Seahawks won from like a call from the refs and the officials. Like the Lions could have won that game, and that's just like
Actually,
ridiculous, man.
the Lions did win that game, but like the refs, I mean, come on, dude. If the rule says that the Lions should have taken over at like the half-yard line, I mean, they're gonna get a touchdown that play. They're gonna punch it in and get a TD, and then they're gonna win the game. But instead, the refs didn't know the rule, how to apply it, and they ended up calling it a touchback and giving the ball to Seattle, even though that wasn't. And the NFL has since confirmed that is not how the rule should have been applied. So,
Oh wow! And then
yeah,
there was the same issue with the freaking fumble in the Cardinals game. I'm not gonna harp on a call like that because to me, the Cardinals lost that game. I'm not gonna say the ref call for that fumble lost it. But somebody on Twitter brought up an interesting point that at the end of the day, all anybody wants, I would say, on both sides for either team is for the right call to be made. And I think that's pretty like elementary just to even make that statement. So there has to be some type of recourse when the ref is just fucking wrong. That the people during the game can address it then, not after the game and be like, "Oh, our bad. You should have won that." But that's how the breaks sometimes.
yeah,
So somebody meant,
they've implemented there is a system now where the refs will call the league office and talk to the head of officiating about a call. I don't think they did that
"Oh,
last night in that Monday night game though, because if they had, the vice president of officiating would have told them, "No, dude, it's still Detroit's ball on the half-yard line. It is not Seattle's ball on the 20." Like,
well,
but
did they?
they didn't contact the league office, so.
I wasn't watching the game. Did they challenge it?
No, they tried to, but you can't challenge a dead play.
Exactly. That's what. Now that is something that somebody on Twitter mentioned, that they had an idea. Maybe all the coaches can have a red challenge flag and a green flag, and like the green flag can like allow you to actually overrule the entire play. Because yeah, once the ref blows the whistle, it's a dead play. So if the ref fucked up when they blew the whistle, there's no recourse. You have to be able to address those things if the ref does make a mistake, and you still need to be able to look at the play.
Are you
Like
saying
I
are you
said,
saying
anybody wants
like give him a mulligan, give him a do over, let him replay the down?
so something like that, or just like you said in the Rams game, like it's an issue if the refs made the wrong call, but because they blew the whistle like and made it a dead play, that there's no recourse now because there wasn't play action. That's
Yeah,
all.
you
It's
can't
like
you can't say what would have happened if the whistle hadn't been blown. How do you know that the Rams don't recover their own fumble, but they hear the whistle, everyone stops playing, the Cardinals scoop up the ball? Should that count? I mean, the play is dead. The ball is no longer live. It should have been live, but as far as all the players on the field know, there's no reason to go for that ball, so nobody does. So does it count when someone decides to just playfully go for it? You know, it's it.
well, we need to beat people by 40 so that we don't even have this
I
discussion.
agree. You know what, dude? A stupid call like that wouldn't have mattered if we were up by 40. But you know what, though? You're not going to win every game by 40. And this actually segues into the next topic I wanted to cover about the NFL at large. I am tired of people always saying, oh, well, you know what? The game really shouldn't come down to one call. Or the game really shouldn't come down to one, missed penalty or one bad call by the refs. Or whatever. Yeah, it shouldn't, but sometimes it does. All right, sometimes
Sometimes
it
it does.
does. Sometimes it does come down to that. And if the refs make the wrong call, the implications are huge. We lost a divisional game against the only team that I think can really challenge Arizona in the NFC West. I don't think Seattle's got it. I know San Francisco doesn't have it. So who does that leave that can challenge Arizona? The St. Louis Rams, and we just lost a head-to-head matchup at home against them based on a bad call. So yes, if we had been up by 40, that call wouldn't have mattered. But you know what? You're not going to win every game by 40. You can still go 16-0 in a season and not have every single game be a blowout. All right? So, yeah, I understand one call does not make or break a game, but you know what? One big play does make or break a game. If that fumble doesn't happen at the beginning, different game, okay? If John Brown catches the ball, if Carson puts the ball into John Brown's hand on fourth down at the end, different game. So sometimes one play does make or break a game. I don't like the idea that I'm not allowed to be upset or that there's no legitimacy to say that the ref took the game away from us. I mean, it wasn't as blatant as it was in the Detroit game
The
where the
Lions,
ref literally
yeah,
decided the outcome of the game and ended the game and gave the ball to Seattle when they weren't supposed to have it. I mean, I know it's not as blatant as that, but the point remains is that the ref did decide the outcome of the game with
yeah,
regards to Arizona. Because if we pick the ball up on the 8-yard line, do you think there's any way we don't come away with a win? You know?
yeah, exactly. So like that's the thing here. There's just too much money and too much emotion invested in it. Yes, football is a game, but it's the livelihood of a lot of people, and the fan bases do put a lot of emotion in it. We spent a lot of money to go to that game. The least you could hope for is that the right calls are made while you're there, and you can walk away saying they beat us. You don't want to walk away saying a call beat us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, and if the Rams outplayed us, this wouldn't sting so bad. But they
Right.
freaking didn't outplay us in any metric except points on the board, and I know that's the only one that counts. But in every other metric, in every other aspect of the game, we were in complete control. The only thing that they had on us was that they scored more points. And yeah, I guess if we would have gotten it done in the red zone a time or two, it wouldn't have been an issue, that one call. But you know what? We didn't. And we were relying on that one call to be called properly. And had it been, we would have won the game. That's all I'm saying. I know that if we had converted more, if we had, we took 5 trips to the red zone and got 1 touchdown. If we would have gotten at least one more, if we would have had 40% red zone efficiency instead of 20, we would have won the game. I know that. I understand. I'm not saying that we should rely on individual calls. I'm just saying that sometimes one call does change the outcome of the game and does determine who will win and who will lose a football game. And like Lute said, man, there's a lot. I am so emotionally invested in this. All right, like this is a big deal to me. Football is a stupidly big deal to me, and to I don't know why. That's why I make these goddamn podcasts. So it's troubling. That's all I'm saying is that I need to shut the hell
Yeah.
up. It's troubling.
We've supported this team through a lot of shit, and a lot of seasons we knew there wasn't shit to hope for, but we stuck with them. I mean, there's nothing else we can do, man. We're Arizonans. Like, this is our team. This is the only team we want to root for. It's the only team we're ever going to root for. We have this beautiful team put together now and assembled, and it's just that is like where the sting comes from, because you shouldn't lose a game like that. And I think walking in there, I did not ever expect that to happen. Well, I was very nervous about the Rams. Don't get me wrong, but it was more about the injuries. I mean, we swept them last year, and I think we'll all agree that we're significantly better this year. So I am happy we walked away unscathed in terms of injuries. Kairi and I actually did kind of mention in passing on our way to the game, we'll take the L if we walk away healthy. But man, not like this.
Right.
This is kind of shitty.
Right.
But
And you know what else?
Yeah.
Everyone's saying, oh, Todd Gurley comes alive or whatever. Freaking no, he didn't. He had like 3 rushing yards in the first half. The second half, we stopped. We shifted our focus to try to be more opportunistic and less of like
There you go.
shutdown defense. We
go.
turned into like a we want to be the team to force the fumbles and get the interceptions.
Yep. We wanted to be the big play team. Everybody in the auditorium was looking at each other saying, don't worry, the fumble's coming, the interception's coming, the special teams breakout play is coming. It never came, bro.
It never came. And if we would have put our focus on shutting down Todd Gurley, maybe he wouldn't have run over us for 140 yards. So don't tell me that. I mean, I'm not going to say Todd Gurley isn't talented and amazing. Of course he is. But Todd Gurley doesn't burn us for 52 if we don't let him. We let him. We gave that one to him, and the proof is in the pudding. Look at the first half. What did we give him? 3 or 4 yards in the entire half of football, and he was out there on every down, and they weren't even passing because freaking Nick Foles only finished with 171 yards on 16 completions and 24 attempts, and Todd Gurley had 20 carries for the whole game. So obviously,
I will say, I do not think that the Cardinals overlooked this game. I heard people saying that, and I'm like, you don't fucking know what you're talking about.
Right? No,
you don't think that Bruce Arians has been looking forward to taking the field again with these guys after the shit that they've put us through since he's been head coach? So I don't think that we overlooked it. I think that we maybe slightly underestimated them in the sense that I think he wanted to do to them what we did to the Niners. Wanted to give the fans a blowout for the ages that we could always come back to and bring up at any type of smack talk that's going on. And in that sense, the Rams weren't giving up the big plays, dude. They're like, no, we're not going to fumble the ball.
And
we're not going to get picked off.
You know what else? It harkens to what you were saying. Palmer threw the ball 46 times. Why, dude? Why 46 passing attempts? Why weren't about 10 of those rushing attempts? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why pass the ball? He was 29 to 46 for 350 yards. Not a bad performance. Why 46 passing attempts in that game? I just don't get it. I don't see why we're throwing the ball 46 times against the Rams, especially on some of those third downs. We got to move on. We got to move on. I want to move on. I don't want to talk about them anymore. Instead of looking at those a-holes, let's look forward, and I'll tell you what I want to see, what I think we need. I think we need to dominate the Detroit Lions in Ford Field. I think that's what we need. I think we need to bounce back and remind people what we're all about, because a lot of people that were a lot of haters started coming out of the woodwork before the Rams game saying the Cardinals weren't as good as they looked, and that the loss validated all the bullcrap that I've been hearing from other people about how the Cardinals, they're 3-0, but they're not really all that good. And then we lose the friggin' Rams, and everyone's like, see? I told you they weren't that good. That's why we need to go out and freaking level the Detroit Lions. What?
We blew the Bears out in Chicago at Soldier Field, and we blew them out harder than Seattle beat them. And then the Rams also beat Seattle, and so Seattle barely beat the Lions at home. So why is Seattle all of a sudden, because they are barely scratching out a 500 the season so far, suddenly Seattle's back in it? There, look, Seattle's back. And dude, they're not fucking back. They're nowhere. We know this. Okay, I'm getting heated now. Let's talk about this Lions game. We need to blow these guys out. How does that happen?
Patrick Peterson has had modest yet measured success against Calvin Johnson the last time we met. Not the first time. The first time those two met, Johnson lit him up. I have a feeling Patrick Peterson is playing shutdown corner this year. He has total for the entire season. I think 85 yards have been gained on him between all 4 games. So even with the likes of Drew Brees throwing the ball, I mean, obviously you didn't get much from Jimmy Clausen. You didn't get a single. I don't even think that his receiver was targeted once in the 49ers game. And I think that he was covering. Who was he covering last week for the Rams? He was covering. I don't even know, but the person that he was covering didn't get any receptions. It wasn't Tavon Austin.
That's why you don't know, because they just quietly cut out. Yeah.
So, anyways, he has been playing some real deal shutdown corner, and I think he's going to obviously have to continue that against Calvin Johnson, who's on track to have another 1,000-yard plus season with Matthew Stafford slinging the ball to him. So
we were pretty down. Yeah, we were pretty down on Pat coming into the season, just because he, like, the fact that he has such a mega contract on the Cardinals roster. It's really not typical of how we normally work these agreements out. So you expect a lot from him because of that, because he is singled out with like a Larry Fitzgerald type contract. So to see him stepping up now and being that type of corner again is just so nice to see. He even predicted it before the season. He said, "You're going to see a defensive player of the year type of season out of me." And I'm like, Pat, you ran your mouth before you faced Julio Jones last year in Atlanta. Be careful. But so far, man, he's backing it up.
Yeah. If he keeps up at this pace, if he can give up 80 yards per 4 games for the entire season, that's defensive player of the year status. That really is. I mean, you cannot ask more out of a corner than to give up so few yards per game like that. Anyways, one thing I'm concerned about the Lions game. I don't know have you ever noticed this in a game where the refs blow a call, or they don't make a call, or they make a bad call against the team, and then later in the game
they have a really loose call for the team
to make up for the fact that they dicked him over. Well, the refs just took a win away from Detroit. Are they gonna try to be sympathetic toward Detroit when we're playing against them?
Remember, dude, we want to take it completely away from the officiating.
Right, and that's why I'm saying that when one of those 50-50 calls gets thrown up in the air, it can land on Detroit's side every single time, and we still win. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to see.
We want everybody in Detroit to say, "Come on, just fucking get it over with already. Stop dragging it on." That's what we want them to say.
That's what I hope that the entire city of Detroit is saying in unison. So we're going to wrap up, as we do every week, with
Lutes Locks.
And this week's
Lutes Locks.
We're not going to do any kind of spreads or points or nothing. I'm going to list the games, and Lutes is going to tell you who's going to win them, and then you're going to cash out your 401k and put all the money on all the teams that he's picking to win. So let's get started. We got the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans.
Houston Texans are the same team I always say that they are. I don't care that they finally won a game this year. They're trash. Their defense is trash. They're the most poorly mismanaged team top down. They're not fucking beating a backup quarterback to Indianapolis Colts.
Okay. Who's next?
Sorry if I sound like I'm in a dick tunnel. Go on.
The Seattle Seahawks at the Cincinnati Bengals. It's got to be the Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals going to win this one.
I was going to say that one's got to be the Bengals. Chicago Bears at Kansas City. Who the fuck cares?
I care. This is an interesting game. I really wish I could go to Arrowhead for this one. I'm going to have to say the Chiefs, man, but Jay Cutler is coming back and but I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Okay. Washington at the Atlanta Falcons. Washington and Atlanta. Atlanta's going to win that, right? Atlanta's 4-0.
Washington going into Atlanta? Yeah, bye-bye, Washington.
Yeah. Terribly consequential Jacksonville Jaguars at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The North Florida battle here.
Who gives a fuck game of the week here? I'm going to go with them Jags.
Just 'cause. Just because I like
Just because, dude.
Yeah, just because I like the chick.
I like Jaguars more than I like Pirates, bro.
I
Big deal.
like cats. Okay, I'm a cat
I
person.
love cats.
All right. New Orleans Saints at Philadelphia Eagles. That one I think is probably going to be the I overestimated what a good season those two teams would be having bowl.
Oh, I don't even want to pick, but I'm gonna have to. Like, this is gonna sound.
In Philly.
Oh, it's so hard, man. I'm gonna go with the Eagles, dude. Like, I think the Saints are probably gonna win, but I'm just thinking about the defense. Like, the Eagles have no O line, but like, what the fuck are the Saints gonna do about that? So, like, I'm picking Philly, dude.
Okay. And then we got the new Cleveland Browns at the old Cleveland Browns. Baltimore.
This is an interesting one. I was shocked how close Cleveland came to winning in San Diego, man. I did not see. I mean, I've always been kind of the last 2 seasons saying, "Watch out, guys! The Browns are not going to be just an automatic shit team to cite from now on." Same with the Raiders. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Browns, man. I wish they wouldn't play McCown, but I'm gonna go with the Browns.
I agree with that, dude. The Ravens have been looking kind of trash this year. I don't want to say trash, but way worse than I thought they were going to be this year.
Yeah,
I thought the Ravens, I thought the AFC North was just going to be powerhouses all around. I thought that the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Ravens were going to just be like fighting it out at the top of that division, and so far it's been all Cincinnati. So.
This might be a bad pick though, just real quick, because like the Ravens are probably not going to be up for losing to the Browns, so this might be Harbaugh's like Harbaugh don't want to lose this game, man, because like there will be some chatter going on if that happens.
He's going to join his brother's staff in Michigan. St. Louis Rams at the Green Bay Packers.
It's so hard not to go with Aaron and Lambeau. I would love to see the Rams beat them. I wouldn't want to see we want the Packs. No, this one's hard, dude.
I know.
Because like we still want to win the division, but we don't want the Packers to have home field advantage. So like, fuck, dude. But I think the Packers are going to win, regardless of how it shakes out.
I'll tell you what, the Packers can beat our divisional rivals and lose to everyone else. How's that sound? The Packers are allowed to beat the Rams. Every other opponent the Packers have to lose to. So Packers. Yep. The Buffalo Bills at Ken Whisenhunt's Tennessee Titans.
This shouldn't be too hard. I'm going to go with the Bills.
Me too. Yeah, Bills, I think, on that one. Okay, here's a fun one. New England Patriots versus America's team, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep. America's team versus the Patriots, the second string of America's team. So it's going to be the Pats.
It's going to be the Pats. They're going to go into Dallas and make Brandon Weeden look like Brandon Weeden. Okay.
Look like Brandon Weeden.
the Denver Broncos at Oakland.
Now this is an interesting one. The Broncos are fucking looking good, dude, but it's their defense that's looking really good. And Peyton Manning is kind of doing a Larry Fitzgerald thing right now, where he's sort of like reacclimating to a new purpose, and that is game manager. But the Raiders are starting to get a little explosive offense going. So like Denver has that pass rush that can shut them down. I would have to say that the Broncos. I'm going to pick the Broncos on paper here, but if the Raiders win, I'm not going to be shocked, man. I think they can get to the ball on defense.
I'll tell you what's going to be the factor. Can the Broncos O-line do a goddamn thing about Khalil Mack, because the Cardinals O-line could not.
Dude. Like, that's what I was saying. Yeah, Khalil's going to get to the ball, and then it's just a matter of if, Carr and Cooper can do anything against that pass rush. So you just talked me out of my pick. I'm going with the Raiders, bro.
Yeah,
Didn't the Raiders beat the Broncos last year? I'm pretty sure they beat them last year too, when they weren't supposed to beat anybody.
All right, let's keep it going. San Francisco 49ers at the New York Giants in the Meadowlands.
This is not going to be good for the Niners. I mean, the Niners are not as bad as everybody says, and like just because they got blown out by the Cardinals, like the game plan worked perfectly for the Cardinals and that. Like Green Bay only hung 17 up on them. If the Niners had any type of offense, they could have conceivably won that fucking game, dude. But New York Giants have been underestimated because they lost those games by really close margins at the beginning. The New York Giants, I think, are the clear favorites right now in the NFC East. I think they're going to get it done against the freaking Niners.
I think so too, and the chatter's already begun amongst some of I have I friends and coworkers that are Niner fans that are they're crazy Niner fans like how I'm a crazy Cardinals fan, and the chatter's already begun about benching Cap, and I'm like, you sure? You sure you want to go to Blaine Gabbert? You sure? All right. And the next game is going to be Pittsburgh at San Diego. Pittsburgh traveling all the way over to San Diego to play the Chargers.
Nope. Pittsburgh. Sorry, Chargers got this one.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think Big Ben's playing either. I think it's Vic and the Steelers.
No, Big Ben's not playing, but I think Le'Veon Bell's playing now, right? I'm not positive on that either. Sorry, guys. Why do you even listen to this?
And
shit?
finally,
awesome.
Arizona Cardinals at Detroit Lions. Cardinals by 40.
The Cardinals are they're gonna destroy the Lions. Unfortunately, Detroit fans, I'm sorry that they're going to take out a lot of aggression on you guys. I'm really sorry. Not sorry.
That's the thing. Yeah, well, but the Lions have some aggression too after they just had a win taken away from them by the officials. So I guess it's about who has the bigger chip.
The Lions are 0-4, dude. The Lions are 0-4, and they're already at the point where they're not winning their division, and they know it. They're not getting a wild card in the NFC, and they know it. So now it's hey, let's see how good of a pick we can get.
Already week 5, and they're already in draft. They're already they're already looking forward to the end of the draft.
Look. The moment that you are out of contention, dude, they're out of contention. They are out of contention. You can't drop your first 4 games, especially when your division plays the NFC West, and fucking expect to do shit about it.
The NFC West ain't even that good no more. The Cardinals are good. Everybody else sucks. That's my belief, dude. The Cardinals are amazing. The Seahawks are way the frick overrated. The Rams have a couple of cool things going for them, but are missing critical things. And the Niners are collapsing epically, falling apart before our eyes, in my opinion. So I don't think the NFC West is even good anymore. I think the Cardinals are good, and everybody else is kind of weak. I mean, we already hashed out. Everyone's like, oh, well, then why'd the Cardinals lose to the Rams? Fucking fuck you, dude. That's why.
It's a divisional game, bro. It's a divisional game. It happens all the goddamn time.
I know. Do you remember it used to happen with the Niners when the Niners had Mike Singletary and they were single terrible? And we were pretty good because we had Kurt Warner and stuff.
We're Super Bowl
and
type team.
The Niners, even when we beat them, it would always come down to there was this goal line stand. Bertrand Berry actually talked about it on the radio, and I remember the game well because I was watching it with a friend of mine who, at the end of the game, after the Cardinals held the line and won the game on a freaking 4th down goal line stand at the end of the regulation. Cardinals win, and I'm amped, and my friend goes, Cardinals shouldn't have won that game. The Niners played better. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Not right now. You can say that shit later.
Yeah.
Right now, in the closing seconds after the game, is not the time to tell me the Cardinals shouldn't. I gotta go. We're done. So tell everyone goodbye, Lutes. Oh, by the way, guys, Lutes recorded his own podcast because he doesn't like the one he does with me anymore.
It wasn't a podcast. It was just a little reaction video while I was in the car.
Oh.
Feel free to check it out on my channel.
Fruitofboredom.wave. All right, guys. We'll see you next week when we talk about the 4-1 Arizona Cardinals and their 50-point victory over the Detroit Lions. Have a good week, everyone.
Go Redbirds!